All right, so there's an old saying that goes, an ounce of prevention equals a pound of pain. So when we're taking things apart and when we're doing our job of just wrenching here and there, there's different ways that can be done that make it easier or harder. So before I take things apart, what I usually do, especially if there's any rust present, is I will take wire brushes and I will clean all of the fittings around them on the back side and the front, and I will squirt some lube on them. At that point, I will heat them up with a torch if it's just steel. All right, provided that the hose isn't going to melt, and a small torch usually won't hurt anything outside of the fitting itself. But there is transference, so we don't lay a big old oxyacetylene torch on, right? Just some heat. So with that heat and that lube and the clean threads, everything comes apart smooth. But guess what? It goes back together smooth. So when I try to just get something apart to put it back together, the problem is I always end up taking a whole lot more time to do that than I do if I'm clean going in and I'm clean going out. So clean your way in, clean your way out. Fast equals employers making money. Remember that. And it makes you sacrifice your quality. So slow and steady processes equals quality. That's where you become known as a technician or somebody who's regarded highly for the quality that they do their work with. So I've got different. So let's say I'm going to clean an injector bore, right? I get a Scotch-Brite, something like this. What should I do after? I should go in there and I should check all those oil galleys, because some of those Huey systems, it'll foul up the next injector if I just push all the lint from this to the next one. That's why cleanliness matters. If all I'm trying to do is pull that injector out and slap a new one in, I've robbed the man of all his mileage. I've done a crap job, and I know it. Now you know it if you've watched this video. And the due diligence that you take is what's going to give him the 100,000 mile or million mile yard, and that's what's important to these guys, especially if they're going to see you on their own. So Scotch-Brite pads, I'll show you guys real quick. I told you I have more brushes than any other thing, and some of these like this would be for, say, all the oil on top of a 7.3. Before you get anything inside of the top end, you need to make sure you get all the oil and grime. Well, that thing's been cooked on there forever. You're not going to get it off with just a regular brush. You're going to need to go get these are for welding, for cleaning slag off. But you're not going to use that in every place because it's far too hard. Some of these brushes are clearly softer than others, and some of them are the wire brushers are fine, and some of them are coarse. So get with your Snap-on guy, get with whoever, and start buying up these things. Another one that I did want to show you, because I don't see people use it a lot, and it's the bonded resin wire wheel. So what this does is it keeps all those wire, it improves the likelihood of those wires not flying off inside of the engine or any other place that you choose to use it. But if you're using a wire wheel around an open engine block or anything like that, it's very dangerous that it could crash a gear or really rob hundreds of thousands of miles if you don't make sure you cover off all the oil ports. I've seen people scraping their head right into the oil gallery. You just think like, gosh, man. Here's another thing I want to show you guys. Here's a vacuum that I use to do all my engine work, and I can just clean up as I go. And then I have another little kit that goes with it that allows me to do very, very small work. I'll make a video for that so I can make an ad, but I don't like putting ads on the top of all the videos, because if I do, people think I'm just trying to sell you something, and I'm not. But this is a way that I can make some cash on the side. See, so I have all these little bitty fittings and stuff, and I just put them in a bag here. And all those go with me so I can clean out engine bores or do anything and as I'm scraping, I'm vacuuming. So you shouldn't be scraping anything in the holes, okay? All right, guys, that's Clean Engine Care and just a few of my thoughts, and I appreciate your time again. Have a good night.